Yo, what's good everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another video. Let's all be one cohesive unit and hit that like button and spread the content to a wider audience. I would appreciate it. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate that as well. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so, this is GT Sport number 12. And for this race, I opted to go back into my archives and pull out a previous race so I could do this race from a broadcaster's perspective. Because when I'm streaming a race live, all you see is my car hood, and because I'm trying to respond to comments and stuff like that, the race isn't so good, you know, and it doesn't turn out very good. So for this race right here, I qualified in 10th place, and as you can see, I'm coming down the straightaway right here. One of the things that's really crucial about these races right here when they first start is to get down the straightaway, stay within the car in front of you, stay within his slipstream. So if you can't make a move on him, you can at least try to make a move on him in the curve right there. And then you see this Benz that just passed me right there. He was a little bit reckless, so I had a few scrapes with him throughout this race. And you know, we're coming up on the first corner right here. This is the crucial corner that I was talking about right here. And the corner is very deceiving because it looks like one of those corners where you think you can carry a lot of speed into the corner right there. You see I scraped the wall. You think you can carry a lot of speed into the corners right here, but you really can't. You really have to be careful and maintain a nice tight line, because if you scrape that wall, you'll end up paying for it, you know, especially with that many cars, you know, close by. Somebody's going to shoot past you. Now these corners that we're going through right here, these corners were a little bit wider, so I was able to carry a little bit more speed going into the corners. And as you can see right there, that Benz that I was talking about, you can see how he's wobbling and sliding all over the place. So you can see that the guy's a little bit reckless, but his car's got power. So already know that if he gets close to me, it may not end well. You can see right there, he slid out on the outside right there. I don't know if he got bumped or if he was trying to make a move on somebody, but as you can see, he got close to me. And then as you can see, coming up the straightaway right here, there's another car right there that just bumped me right there, that McLaren that just sent me into the wall. I had a few issues with him in this race. You know, that was the first of several scrapes with this guy. As you can see, he bumped me again right there and made me pinball off the wall right there. And so right here, we're coming into a very crucial corner right here. This corner right here is a very sharp corner. If cars are bunched together, it's not going to end well right there. As you can see, I just went off the corner, off the track right there, and I had to get a restart right there on the track. So it knocked me all the way back from like 10th place to 13th place. So now I got to fight and claw and scratch my way back into this shit because this guy bumped me on the corner, which wasn't really cool. This guy in this McLaren, like I said, he was pretty much, for the most part, he was racing dirty. And you're going to see as this race goes on, you're going to see how many scrapes I had with this guy. So now, as I was saying, on the straightaway, you got to stay with him so you can make a move on him right there. And as you can see, I got past the guy on the Benz, but now in turn, you know, he would be able to get into my slipstream, and if he's able to keep up with me, at least stay close enough to me that when we get to the curves, that's, you know, he, rather than say that he'll make a move on the corners, he could possibly come in hot and send me into the corners. And you can see right there, those two cars was battling with each other right there. That allowed me to pick up a little bit of ground. That's one thing about these races, when you got two cars battling in front of you, they're so busy fighting each other that it allows me to close in on them and gain some ground on them. You know, so we're coming down this straightaway right here, getting ready to go into these high speed corners right here where I can carry a lot of speed. And if those guys are still battling in front of me, it'll give me a chance to catch up to them and get ready to set them up for the straightaways. And so, as you can see, I'm in 12th place, and you know, that's nothing to write home about, but I elected to keep the cameras on me because, you know, I was caught up in a battle. So as you can see right there, in a blink of an eye, I just went from 12th place to 10th place. And the Porsche that's behind me, he was a little bit reckless too. I had a scrape or two with him. And as you can see right there, he turned into a ghost. If he had not turned into a ghost, he would have knocked me into the wall, and it would have been much worse. I would have went from being in 11th place to being in last place. So fortunately there, I was able to turn into a ghost. That's one of the things I like about this game, is that because cars turn into ghosts, the races are a lot more cleaner than, say, Forza Motorsport 7, where there's a lot of bumping, banging, a lot of dirty racing. In fact, in Forza Motorsport 7, you know, there is some dirty racing there in this game here, but it's not near as bad as Forza because of the penalty system that's in place. And I did run this race a while back, so the penalty system was in place, but it wasn't in such that you would know that the cars that are in front of you or in back of you have penalties. They send an update through this game now, so a car that's in front of you, if he has a penalty, you'll see the red penalty marker above his car. So that lets you know that the car in front of you has a penalty. So at any given moment, this car could decide to slow down and serve the penalty. So even though I'm behind this car like this Benz like that, if he had a penalty that he would have to serve at any given moment, I would have to be prepared to slam on the brakes or go around this guy if he decides to serve the penalty. That's how this game works. And so, you know, we're going into another critical corner where I need to be able to stay with him and get ready to set him up for the other corners where I can carry some speed, because these wider corners right here where I'm able to carry some speed, I've been having tighter lines. I've been able to maintain tighter lines through these corners. And then the crazy part about this race is I did this race without the racing wheel. I did this with a DualShock 4 controller. And so if I would have actually been able to run this race when I had my, you know, Thrustmaster T150, I would have been able to run a much cleaner race, and I think I would have been able to deal with these assholes much better. As you can see right there, that guy in that McLaren, he knocked me into the wall. I pinball off the wall, and as this race goes on, you can see it right there. He tried to clip my back end, but fortunately he turned into a ghost, and I didn't get taken out. But you can see by the way this guy is racing, he was clearly racing dirty. He clearly tried to take my back end out, you know, and guy is a straight up asshole. He ended up paying for it in the end though. So I'm behind him. I'm in 10th place, right there, trying to make a move on him. But I know when we get around these corners, right there, you know, he tried to clip me again, but fortunately I turned into a ghost again, and he wasn't able to send me into the wall, but he was definitely trying to send me into the wall. Right here, you can see it right there. He's trying to bump me. He's trying to knock me into the wall. What a asshole. And now we're going neck and neck down the straightaway. I'm in 10th place, so he overtook me. At this point, you know, all I can do is get behind him, stay in his slipstream, stay with him, you know, until we get to the corners, which I know that's when he's going to try some dirty shit again. But you can see I'm right on his ass. I actually think I overtook him right here. I'm again on the side of him right here. I was able to take him. I'm in 9th place now. So he hasn't tried anything dirty yet, but here we go. We're coming up to the corner right there. He tried something on me right there. He's on my case right here, and this is the area where I'm seriously concerned about. There it is right there. He bumped me, sent me into the wall. He's still on my case. I think right there, I think he's still trying to clip me again, but he's trying so hard to clip me that he's actually missing me, and he's zigzagging all over the place. And now that this Benz has gotten to the active Mercedes, now that those two are fighting, that allowed me to gain a little bit of ground. But these cars, I don't know if it's because they are using manual transmissions, or if these cars outright have more power than me, but they were able to reel me in. They were able to catch me. But right now, you know, I got a little bit of distance on them. You can see by the way this is going. Even though that McLaren is sliding all over the place, he's closing in on me. And I mean, right there, he's right there. He just shot right past me. Nice move for once. He made a clean move. Did knock me into the wall, which surprised the shit out of me. I don't know how he was able to get past me so easily like that. But again, at this point now, all I can do is just concentrate on keeping this guy in my sights, wait for him to make a mistake, because the way this race has been going, if you scrape that wall once, it's enough for somebody to get past you if they're within your sights. So that's what my concentration was. I was focused on trying to keep this guy in my sights. So right here, you know, this is the sharp corner, the one that always has me concerned. Right there, I was able to get around that corner clean. And it looked like the guy in the McLaren, it looks like he made a mistake. It allowed me to close the gap on him a little bit, but I actually think this might be the, I think we might be nearing the end of this race. But I'm still trying to get within his slipstream, and I'm not sure that, yeah, I think this we're nearing the end of the race, I believe. and right there I'm in 9th place. So yeah, that is the end of the race right there. You can see he's in 11th place right there, and that 11th place is going to turn into a 12th place for him. As you can see right there, he just went down into to 12th place. So what that tells you right there is that he obviously had a penalty throughout this race. He was accumulating penalties, probably from slamming into the wall and hitting other cars. He accumulated some penalties. So when the race was over, you know, one thing about this race, he needed to slow down to serve that penalty, and he opted not to slow down to serve the penalty. So the penalty was tacked on at the end of the race, and he paid for it. So he went from 9th place to 12th place, and that's what happens when you race dirty. But that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. This is your boy, and I'm out.